wacho wakamudiko ekudenga ikoko mama kushanya iko kwamusingafonekana mufaro wacho.
It is a Thursday, and you know what that means. It's a men's corner show with yours truly, DJ Sodza.
Make the whole world know about your business. Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are listening to DJ Sodza live on Zimnet Radio.
Azireva kurura mbawaraira zvikazonzi nemfano wechidika anonzi Dr. T ndamba kuzora bhata akadzipuka neroko unokuzodzipirweiko tiri pano paZimnet Radio tina DJ Sodza vachizora bhata tichizora tichinakirwa ko tiri machindaka tinenge tichinakirwa zvimama zviri pasaidi zakade.
Join DJ Sodza and his informative team live every Thursday at 9 p.m. UK time, discussing Zimbabwean politics.
Lleno de matero, como venguita, ahora es en ese cacuro, curo llene revano, cote matendo ese, sacanando, padara es amno tenga, nenzera, sacanaca, mozo se nos Samunenge matora badara izamno tenga nenzira zakanaka moto se nos Samunenge matora tesale tinotora lleno de macedo se nos como venguita ahora es en este cacuro llene revano cote más de sacanando tisa ete cheopomwe mondo yeche mrenga tesa nese vasungwa vatinenge tabata tisa ete cheopomwe mondo yeche mrenga tesa nese vasungwa vatinenge tabata tesa tinotora lleno de macero ese satura como venguita ahora es en ese cacuro llene revano cote más ese sacanando aya neo mashoko akatauro akare naevo mamao vachitesesa aya neo mashoko akatauro akare naevo mamao vachitesesa tesa tinotora lleno de macedo ese nos satura como venguita ahora es en este cacuro llene revano cote más de sacanando semasoja zekuzibatana sote tevera emtemo yose nenzira dzakanaka kunenzira semasoja
zvisinei mhuri yezimbabwe ndizvo zvinoita. Thank you so much. Nhasi ndiri kusenzesa a different Skype panapa. I just want to make sure everything is okay. But before we go any further, let me, maybe apologize for coming in a bit late for some of you guys who are not chindibata an hour before discussion. Chimboridza music, but tonight I think I was 30 minutes late. I was trying to make sure that when it comes to the discussion, everything is fine. Thanks to Sally for, testing the machines and all the rest of it with me there. Now, I'm hoping that you guys are hearing me live and clear wherever you're listening from. Welcome to the show. This is the Men's Corner Show. Pachirongoka patinokurukura dzakasiyana siyana dzinenge dziri kuitika kunyika yedu yeZimbabwe maererano nematongerwo enyika, things that has been happening in the past week. So today we've got quite a few things we need to talk about. We all saw what happens to Thokozani Khupe, the humiliation that she faced, going into that court, and also coming out, people, calling some obscene messages towards her. And I don't know. It was there. The video was there. I felt disgusted myself looking at Thokozani Khupe as, a potential mother to me. She's old enough to be my mother. And for people to behave in that manner, I thought it was disgraceful, but I don't know. I was listening to some Facebook Live that were done, posted that, and to my surprise, a lot of people were saying that she deserved it. I don't know what she did to deserve that. We need to talk a little bit about that. Then there is also an issue of Nyadzima text messages. My text messages that were sent to all people who are registered to vote to Zimbabwe, telling them, I've got some text message that one of my brothers sent me here. It has got the name of that person, the national identity card number of that person, and also where they are registered to go and vote. So those are the critical informations that are in those text messages. To me, when I saw those text messages, I thought, wow, this is indeed the new dispensation where things are done very transparent and fabulous indeed. But maybe I'm naive because someone was telling me, Sodza, there's something behind all those text messages that people were being sent. I don't know. Maybe some people know more about that. Then I've got a big problem as well. Kasukuwere. Some people might say, Sodza, what? That is a nonsense story to talk about. But, we were led to believe that he was one of the criminals that were being targeted. And he disappeared on the coup day. Yeah? November. And we never see or heard about him. And then he walked through the airport the other day. And I saw him at Oku ZBC being interviewed by Ruben Barwe and telling us that he's free, he's back in his country, and he's taking a little bit of a break from politics, and now he's going to be a farmer. I just thought, wow. So when is Jonathan Moyokan touching down at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport? Zagoma, Zimbabwe. Sally, welcome to the show.
Thank you, DJ Sodza. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Zimbabweans, wherever you are. I hope you're going to join us tonight. And if you're in Cape Town, I hope you're nice and warm and out of the rain.
Is it very cold out there?
Listen, it is cold for us in Africa, okay?
Okay, all right, sorry. Okay. 10 degrees, that's cold for you in Africa, I gather.
Look, I'm sitting here looking like an Eskimo, okay?
Yeah.
I've got fur boots on with socks. I've got a fur-lined tracksuit trousers. I've got a great big high-tech flippin' jacket thing on with about 6 things underneath it and a blanket. So yes, I'm cold. We
right.
don't have central heating in our houses like you sophisticated people do, okay?
All right. Okay.
We're in Africa. The only central heating is you put in a bowl and you build a fire in the middle of your lounge. That's it. Check it.
All right. Thank you so much, Sally, for that. Tete Rosie, welcome to the show.
Hi, DJ. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, no, we are fine indeed here. Tete Mashoko, welcome to the show.
Hey, boy. Makadini mos.
Tinofara chose ndiani akudza kuti nhasi tiri kutambira ku different sky.
Sawira wangu salu.
I see. But thank you so much for joining in. For those guys out there, vanochinditumira ma messages ku Zimnet Radio Skype. That Skype is not on at all at the moment. There's few issues with it, so we are using a different Skype. So if you have a message to send me, you have to go through WhatsApp today. I'll give you the number again for those that don't have it. But tapedza kamadzimai ese apo regaitende pane varume apo. Chief Sose, welcome to the show.
Makadi DJ Sodza. Tokutendai nekupa chiremerekedzo kumadzimai. Yo arimo watoda wakaita semi.
Aiwa.
Muri Zimbabwe vakadiwa mwese vakateerera.
Aiwa tatenda zvedu Chief Sose. Mkoma Belford, welcome to the show.
DJ Sodza makadi kwenu.
Aiwa tinofara chose kuri sei ku America.
No, kuno kuri right zvangu tinani.
Thank you so much for catching up with us there. Mkoma Wilbert, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome, everybody, and welcome to all the listeners wherever you are.
Are you going to send a little bit of sunshine to Sally in Africa? There, it's been beautiful here in Amberside today.
We don't want sunshine in Cape Town. We need rain.
Right. Sekuru Maskara Saigo.
Good evening in the name of CCC. Makadigo Msuguru.
Are you at Nofara Chose? Are you happy with the new manager now at Arsenal Seguru?
Ata winachine. We don't assess Maseroga, we assess Kanawi, Natutanga with Tomudagana Tatuni. That is my CCC guys.
What's the CCC business?
CCC, I must get it.
No, I'm thick, I'm stupid.
Chamis chete. Inima not the constitution.
When I movement for darling Chamisa. There we are.
Chamisa chete. Anyway, guys, now he's living in Gweru there, and he was asking me, Sodza, can I join you tonight? Because you know what, my brother, you're always welcome. On this show, anyone can come in. We do not discriminate anybody here. If you wish to come, you can come and participate. There is no one who won't be allowed to participate on the show. But anyway, that messages were not Rasta. Kwanziko nasi wabatikana. She'll be with us next week. Thank you so much, Tete. You know, these are the people that I like. Wakanga wa join akudai. Musowanenga wasukwanisa kuya wanotumira message wachiti wasukwanisa kuya. Kote uzongoti zizi. Come on. Thank you so much, Tete Rasta, for that. Now,
Mzukuru wanga aripi.
And teach. Ndio wametawa na teach mnongoziwa kaini.
Teach is teach. He's trying to find his button to speak.
Sekuru. Time zetu kufamba panapa regaiti tipinde mchirongwa. Sekuru, I've got a couple of things we need to discuss about that has been happening in the past week. What did you make of the humiliation that Thokozani Khupe endured?
Disgusting.
Is that acceptable in our country?
apeno vana vakasvakwa ni pamupimbira kauti neoperation so hatina kumbonzwa kuti mukadzi mukuru une vana unodaidzirwa kunzi uri hure iye ane vana vake hatina kumbozvikura tichizviziva izvozvo. In fact ndo imwe inonzi tabu chaiyo chaiyo. Can you imagine those people growing up to contest my presidential election? And then a reporter ari suicide obudisa ka video iko kaya unotanga avafudza kuti naye president semuda kuita president mufungwa yenyu pamusoro pemasingle mothers yakamira sei. Vanodaidza achiti ini ndoda masingle mothers vopurehwa video iyonzi asi ndimi maitika mahuri. Unodaidza achiti kudii.
Right. Sekuru, so you are not happy with that sentiment, but you know, people must, you know, remember kuti we have got people like your national Timba coming out and say kuti Mai Mugabe ihure as well. I know this word really not only but it has happened before and people didn't condemn it as much as they are doing now because it has been said to Thokozani Khupe.
There is a difference between kutukwa kwa Grace no kutukwa kwa National Timba. No kutukwa kwa Khupe ne vanhu vadaidzwa ne party yese kuti uyamuzomtuka. You understand the difference is Khupe haana chaakatuka munhu. Grace waisumudza varume vakuru padi padare achivati iwe nhingi nezita ravo vachiti mama vachiti mama ovatuka. So varume ava vakadzorerawo kutukwa kwavaita toko haana kana munhu wano waakatiputiki kana chii wangoti handisi kuwirira nemi. So ukatanga kutuka munhu angoti handiwirira newe nemashoko akadaro so akadzama kudaro zvakaipa. Even iye Grace wacho dai Grace akanga achiita semudzimai mukuru sezvinoita toko hapana ine ndaitomudefenda ini but Grace wainetsa kudefenda because waituka iye ndiye aitanga kutotuka saka unomudefenda sei kana vanhu vakutukana saizvozvo. We are talking about a person aringotukwa asina zvaataura zvaarisa.
Now, andisikuziva sekuru vamwe vakanga vari kutiwo this is the level of disgusting behaviors that men have got. They've got no respect for women. That if Thokozani Khupe was a man, they wouldn't have said those derogatory words. What do you think about that? What do you say about that? Is it just because she's a woman that these people are pouncing on?
They've got a very strong point because tikatarira varume vese vari muleadership iko zvino anga tikati sumudzai maoko asiri hure panapa varume vacho pane one anogona kusumudzai rero. I doubt. But because uyu munhukadzi they are actually trying to put it down, which is very wrong because pavanhukadzi vatinawo panapa pano paprogram ipo panapa they are more switched on than us. They are better at thinking ahead of us. They are better at communicating than us. As kana totaura nawo toti muri mahuri ndokuti kudii ikoko ruri mahuri mehwe kutaura shoko rakashata kudaro.
Right, but I must say she conducted herself really impeccable. She didn't retaliate, did she?
No, she didn't, but she has retaliated effectively because ukatuka munhu asina chaakuitira uchimutuka nemanzwi akadzama kudaro akakunyararira, how does it feel? The victory becomes very hollow because vanhu vatanga vachituka vazi varume these are mavhani God ndo akasaka kuti toko arege kuuya kuHarare kumameeting because vaigara vachimudaro nyangwe mumeeting kana oda kupinda muheadquarters.
Now, Sekuru, were these people sent by anybody or they just pitched up on their own?
They were invited by Charlton Wende, deputy treasurer general we-MDC Shamisa chete.
Kunzi uyai muzosapote Chamisa court.
No. Kunzi uyai muzoita embarrass to kuti asagona kutaura mukoti, asagona kuzvipresenta mukoti, apinde mukoti achinjenja, ane njenja asachihuta. Afraid.
Sekuru, have you got evidence that these people were absolutely sent there?
Yes. I've got a tweet from Charlton Wende saying all districts and all members are required to attend the court in their thousands, and they must come in regalia, in part regalia.
Wow, that is interesting, Sekuru. Very, very interesting indeed. All right. Tete Rosie.
Oh yes, sorry DJ.
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering. It has knocked me back a little bit. These people were actually invited to do what they did. I find that unbelievable.
Well, anything is possible in Zimbabwe. Women are not that respected. Every time a woman in Zimbabwe stands up and says no to something, because I personally have experienced it. I was called all kinds of names, told I had AIDS, told so many things that I never even imagined in my life. Because I questioned a man and I held him accountable. That's just Zimbabwe. That's how it works. Women never get a fair shake. They just don't. Because if you really look at what's going on, kuti vanhu vari kunzi hanzi ukaverenga zviri kumacomments evanhu hanzi toko akanganisa ukabvunza kuti okay akakanganisa chii, exactly what did she do wrong? You ask them, hanzi, why can't she just follow Chamisa? Okay, fine. But can you tell me who did something wrong first? So why is she being held accountable and the man is not being held accountable and she's supposed to just be bullied into submission? And I don't agree with the way things are right now in MDC, the splits, I think they should sit down and talk to one another if they're actually serious about winning an election. Because I don't think Chamisa can win an election or Thokozani can win a national election on their own. They need each other. But at the end of the day, it's like atina common sense. You know, you watch people and their behavior. It's like there's actually virtually no common sense. It's like, does this woman actually deserve us calling her a hure? And calling her a hure, how is that going to bring unity? And what are we teaching our young women? And what's really shocking to me, to be honest with you, even I get more angry with the women, not so much the men. Because if you have women participating in this and saying this derogatory remarks to another woman, so it's okay. You're saying it's okay for if my daughter decides that she does not like something, it's okay for a man to call that person a hure. Because my daughter just doesn't want to do something. It's like even as vakadzi. Why are we partaking in this? What kind of behavior are we encouraging? Are we moving backwards or are we moving forward? Are we setting back the women's movement forward or backwards? There's just no thought process. In fact, there's no even organizations on internet. What is really going on in MDC? This never used to happen. Where people behave like this. What is the difference now between ZANU-PF and MDC? The only difference now is the history. But now we've taken on these really uncultured behaviors. You know, where we're supposed to sit and talk to each other.
Okay. Tete, let me ask you a question then. Hand on heart, do you honestly believe that if Thokozani Khupe was a male, could these people have behaved in this manner, or they took advantage because she's a woman?
They definitely are taking advantage. Everything that has happened. If you look at everything, it's intimidation. You know, we're going to intimidate you, and it's going to work because you're a woman. We're going to intimidate you to cower back and fall in line.
Right. Okay.
You know, how dare you even stand up and say something? We can call you a wood and we can call you this, and everybody's going to believe that's who you are. I know this because I personally experienced it. I spent 2 days crying because I was told you have AIDS. Some words I couldn't even imagine in my life. I was like, how dare people say these things? They don't even know anything about me. This is not even a representation of who I am. But because a man had said it, who was completely offline.
Alright.
You know, and I'm asking myself, how can a man call a woman a hure? Have you slept with Thokozani Khupe? Have you paid money? Can you afford her? I'm asking these questions. Come to mind, all those things. Can you afford her?
Wow.
Can you pay for her? Would she say yes? So how dare you? Where do you come off even saying these things and thinking it's okay? And then you see women, these young, I was telling someone the other day, what's scaring me now about Zimbabwe is but what's scaring me is the future of, you see, these young people who don't respect the law, who don't respect the constitution, who don't have respect for each other, who do these things. Then what is the future of Zimbabwe if the young people are no different from the adults? What is the future?
Okay, thank you so much for that. Mukoma Wilbert ndimbonzwa, but Mukoma Wilbert musati mataura, I've got a message here from a listener. Now, if you are home and you want to participate in the show, my Skype here is a UK number 0798 4455 349. That's 0798 4455 349. If you're outside of the UK, please remember to add 0044. That's our country code here. Kwanziko Nyaya Thokozani Khupe, she walked into the violence, and that was foolish of her part. It was avoidable. She knew what was coming, and she wanted publicity and get political mileage out of it. She wanted to be seen as seemingly being more politically mature. Was it necessary for her to be at the courts at all? Her lawyers could have represented her. Why did she take that long walk when she knew her life would be in danger? That's one of the listeners writing to me there. And Suzia Mukoma Wilbert, what did you make of the humiliation that she faced there?
Before you answer, Wilbert, the Lion of Judah and Yora Marabish,
as Marabish, people are contributing.
No, the Lion of Judah.
No. It's just listen.
I over to you, Wilbert Musuwangu.
Sekuru, you are looking at Zakawatis as a guru, and I remember Wilbert.
Sekuru's on fire tonight.
I think in this particular case to say it was being directed to her because she's a woman, I'm not sure whether we can substantiate that. Because there's been a lot of abuse and violence in ZANU-PF and in MDC directed at opponents, regardless of their sex. So I think we are playing too much into the gender issue, and I honestly think in this particular case, I mean, look at people like Mangoma. You know, he was roughed up badly when he asked Tsvangirai to resign, or whatever the case was. So it wasn't because he was a man, or it would have been any different if he had been a woman at that time. So this political violence in MDC is something that we have seen happen again and again. But I think in this particular instance, I would like to refer to what Stephen Saka said on Hard Talk. I think he nailed it when he said by seizing power the way Chamisa did, he has unsettled MDC. And that problem is not going to go away. And that is a fundamental truth. And I think a lot of people here, people like Rosie and I'm sure Sekure said it as well, that MDC is now divided to the point where you will never bring that party together again. And in this particular case, they're going into the elections, hating each other so much that you can see it's now more a situation where they hate each other more than they hate ZANU-PF, which is most tragic because the people of Zimbabwe really wanted meaningful political change. And this is just giving ZANU-PF the opportunity to rig the elections with the assistance of the opposition, which is most unfortunate. You know, and I think people of Zimbabwe deserve a lot better than what we are getting right now. This is not going to help anybody. And the way they are dragging this thing on is only going to make it worse. You know, and if Tokon and their supporters start hitting back, you can't blame them for that. You know, but it is only going to escalate the whole situation. And who is going to benefit from it? Nobody. You know, the people of Zimbabwe are not going to benefit from this. Ordinary Zimbabweans in the village are totally confused with what is going on here. And that is to be regretted. And I think in this particular case, it's a pity that it has been allowed to happen. Because honestly, I don't see a way out of this. This is going to carry on. The carry on is going to continue. And whoever is either side is now deeply entrenched in their position, they're not going to give up.
Right. Thank you so much. Keep your messages coming, guys. This one is saying that with the friction which is there between Khupe and Chamisa, I think it is, if it was a man as well, I took it well. People are tired, angry, and frustrated. And Khupe now is seen as an obstacle to New Zimbabwe. Go on Facebook and read comments coming from women as well, now insulting Terence Mukhupe, who was being interviewed on Star FM this afternoon. I just think people are angry with Khupe naturally from day one when they fall out na Chamisa. But above all, I do not support bad behavior among Zimbabweans. That was wrong indeed. Right. Yes, Tetwe Mashoko, you saw what happened, and I don't know, did you like that behavior?
I was really sad, but let me just go back to something that I prepared. First of all, I want to apologize to Khupe. Here's why I'm apologizing. If Khupe had told Van, and if kuregera kuuya kuma meetings, it was to avoid zvataka witness, definitely she deserves an apology. And why I'm apologizing, introduction to my own personal experience, 9 months into Zimbabwean politics. 9 months, and now 9 years, 9 months. I will never forget Nishipinda police station, Minnesota, ndine my text message ezvituko mainly aibva muuk. Munoziva you unotukwa zvezvokuti your whole life you would never have been exposed to something like that. If that is what they were doing behind the scenes kuna Toko, I apologize for not backing her, supporting her. Ndichibva ipapo ndinoda kuti vanhu tidzokere kumashure kuZANU-PF. Vanhu vazhinji vari kumapolitics iye zvino vakabva kuZANU-PF. ZANU-PF vanga vaiita divide and rule. Vanhu vakatrainwa kunana Cuba, North Korea, and so forth and so on. Vanonyatsoziva kuti when you want to tear somebody to shreds, where they won't even have an ounce of dignity, to humiliate them, they're good. And I hope to God that's not what they've been doing behind the scenes. Lastly, Zimbabwe tarasa hunu. Munoza andina kufona because nandishida nyaya sterek pana. I was distressed by a 5-6-year-old achishandisa an H word. Kune chembere yakafanana neni. Kunduudza an H word. Atisisina self-respect. Atisisina kunyara. Atisisina hunu. Politics in Zimbabwe, when you are a woman, it's free for all. Total strangers. Vanokupa biography yavanenge vaisa ivo vega. Added together ne a little bit yavanenge vachiziva. Including vamwe varume vari right here per station. The intimidation. It's disgusting. And if you think kuti Zimbabwe ichabuda mukwagma way it is, you men need to look deeply. Kuti vakadzi venyu mimi neva sisters nevana venyu vasikana vamunobata muchihaga muchiti I wanted to be a strong woman. If somebody, a total stranger, were to come and call her the H word, how would you feel? Then when it's okay for you to use those words and okay to give vana kuva badara nembanje kuva badara nedoro kuti it's okay, go and say what you want to say. I will repeat what the police officer said when he read my text messages. Emma Zimbabweans to me. This is horrid. Horrid. No human being should ever come under abuse. If that is what people have been doing behind the scenes, please stop it. She's a human being. She's a woman, yes. She's a human being. Stop it.
Right. Tete Mashoko, thank you so much. Very interesting, you know, I mean, I've got a young daughter here, and really I wouldn't want people to come and say, you know, I've got a mother. When I heard it, really, and I can't but kuzotera zvine kutaurwa nevamwe pa social media, it's interesting. Nyika kwa yako inado kumagumo wamashawo munhu mumwe wakataura. Rega niende pana Batokora, Chief.
Yeah, Magadi DJ.
Yeah.
Zvakaoma. Ma chief tisma custodians culture. We and the kana zvichiitika zvakadai kurasa hunhu tarasikirwa nehunhu senyika. Zvinhu zvinonyadzisa ende handisandambo kupati vanhu chedu ukautoudza mukadzi kana wako chaiwo wakabvisira mombe kuti hure kungotaura izvozvo chete waitoripa mombe waitoiripa mombe. Saka kuona vana vadiki vakaita sevaya vachituka mai ivo vasiya mai vavo kumba uko votuka vamwe mai vevamwe vana kuti hure zvinotyisa. Ivara rakakura tichiziva kuti haritaurwe zvakakora. Ndine vana inini vana vasikana, beautiful girls. I don't want ever to see them being called those words, that word. Never. Chere ndikamuwana kana ari mukwasha kana ari ani ndomudzosera twake. Saka I was so appalled, I was so disappointed. Even up to now, I'm disappointed. And as I taura Tete Mashoko, kuti kana zviro zvanga zvichiitika behind the scenes, then Toko was going through a lot. Yes, Tete Mashoko ndo zvanga zvichiitika. I personally spoke to Toko at one time. Zikati uko namba yenyu ndakatraya namba yenyu iya zvikanzi ndotogara ndichichinja. Because vanhu vakatamisa vakangoona vakangoziva namba yandiri kushandisa vanouya kuinbox vachindituka nemashoko asingaite. Saka I'm always changing numbers. Saka it's true. That's what she has been going through all this time. Saka, it's just not right. And as a people, we should be ashamed of ourselves. As Zimbabweans, we should be ashamed. Achisiriyo chivanhu chedu hapana ubuntu apa. Hadzisiri tsika dzedu dzekutukana kudaro. Chero munhu akukanganisira hausvike pakumuudza kuti uhure. Chero ari ani. And I don't know where we should be, why we should be, surprised anyway, because we've been talking about this. This is coming right from the top, I said it the other time. It's coming right from the top leadership of MDC. What do you expect when you have a president who doesn't respect women? What do you expect when you have a president who is sleeping around with young women, allegedly? We have heard that he's sleeping with Madam Ombe. We have heard that he's sleeping with a lot of other young women. We have heard allegedly that he was sleeping with Elizabeth. We have heard allegedly and substantiated that he was bashing his wife after the wife was questioned. That is substantiated. She is an abuser of women. Because no matter what happens, you cannot put your hands up to a woman for what? To your wife for what? So we cannot expect much. He doesn't respect women, that's it. And that's unfortunate because he is a leader. Because I know I can do it, but I will not do it. But a person who is running for president cannot do that because a lot of people are looking up to him. He is an exemplary figure. He cannot play around using whatever he called it, political banter, using his sister as a bet. It just shows disrespect of women. So if the leader is doing that, it trickles down, it cascades down to the bottom. These people would do it very easily without even blinking because their leader is out there on rallies calling Thokozani names. I said it the other time when he was in UK, when he was referring to Thokozani as Penga Udzoge. But when they are coming from a presidential candidate, they send a message to the people down there that she is nothing. You can do whatever you want with her. You can say whatever you want to her. And I don't know if he wants to be president of men only.
Right. Okay. Chief Sose,
this is a disclaimer. The opinions expressed by contributors during radio call-in shows are solely those of the individual callers and do not reflect the opinions of Zimnet Radio, DJs, presenters, managers or administration. Listeners are encouraged and advised to seek the services of qualified professionals for their personal problems.
In touch with the best online station, Zimnet Radio.
Right, okay. Let me not read a couple of, maybe let me read it. This one is saying that Chief Sose is too one-sided. This one is saying that Chief Sose, are you talking of Savannah, Madam Onwe? This one is saying that, please, Chief Sose, atidi jemakuwa. Ndoza chikirwa mukupe na biti. Musawenge kushika ipapo. It's bad esikutukwa kwakaitwa Khupe because hamuna evidence asizvamakanzwa. We know you do not like him from day one. Zvekunzwa ngadzvigumire mukunzwa. Right.
DJ rega ni respond ipapo vataura nezvangwana.
Okay.
It's unfortunate that these people are saying I don't like Chamisa. Why would I not like Chamisa? Chatisingafa nokuita muZimbabwe. If you like someone, if you support someone, and then that someone tells you that that pot is black, even though it's white, you go on to call it black because it is the person you like, the person you support, has called it black. I will not say that. even today is the election in Mangwana, I'll go and vote for MDC, and I'll probably vote for Chamisa, you know, because definitely that's where the that's where the wave is, and he is our best chance. I've said it before that he is our best foot forward. But when he has done something wrong, when he's doing something wrong, I will condemn it. When Thokozani Khupe called in Linda from Norway, we called it out. I even wrote on Facebook, I wrote everywhere that this is unconstitutional. Thokozani should not have done it. So when someone has done something wrong, I will definitely condemn it. But right now we are talking about Khupe and what happened at the court. That was uncalled for. That was wrong. And it's coming right from the top. Message pa Twitter. It's true. Ndakaona ma message mu group vanhu leadership MDC chiti hande court. Is that right? So if it's wrong, I will condemn it, despite the fact that Chamisa wacho ndiye president we MDC and I might even vote for him. Saka handina kumuvenga, ndakavenga zvaari kuita.
Aha, aiwa. Well presented there, Mazvinzwa. Vanhu vanga vari kundinyorera kuno, you know, saying your displeasures there nezvazvataurwa naChief Soshe. Kwanzi naChief Soshe, you know, inini kana mudzimai wangu akaita zvinhu zvakashata mumba, I will tell kuti mudzimai zvawaita izvi zvakashata. But I love her. You know, it's as simple as that. Right. Regarding the daiso, toda kuti tifambire mberi nechirongwa panapa tende tabva pana Chief Soshe. Regai tende pana Sally. Sally, what did you make of what happened to Thokozani Khupe there in Harare?
Well, I wasn't going to say what my week has been like, but now because of this I'm going to have to say it. I took a break from everything Zimbabwe because of just this disgusting, insulting, degrading mannerism that Chamisa supporters have got. I was stalked on Facebook. I was told I was a whore. I was told I was a white, you don't want to know what, okay? And in the end, I never said anything, and then I thought, no, I can't stop this. And I turned around to the person that was the main culprit. And I said to them, sweetheart, remember this. I'm the biggest and the best white whore you will ever find. And you know what, darling? You ain't got the money to paint my toenails. And I decided, right, time out, because I'm going to bust a brain here, okay? And it could be pretty bad. So I took time out. And I just stayed away from everything to do with Zimbabwe. I had to. And you know something? The whole time that I was away from it, listening to what you're saying tonight about how people treated Khupe, do you expect anything more from Chamisa people? They're supporting a man that tramped on a dying man's body to get where he is today. And you know what saddens me more than anything in this world? That Zimbabweans, good, honest, hard-working, intelligent Zimbabweans, are making excuses because they suddenly think that this man is going to be a savior. Look what he's done to MDC. Just look. Look what he's doing to the supporters. And once again, the Zimbabwean povo are being taken by the nose by loud, brash, blingy, celebrity-wanting politicians and made to do things that are not right. Please, people, wake up. A politician will do to you what you allow them to do to you. So if you allow them to use you to abuse verbally, physically, however, other people, that is how they're going to treat you. And don't ever think that they're going to respect you. Don't ever think that they're going to spend a day thinking, these people did this for me, so when I'm now president, I must think about the people. Forget it. They will ditch you -2 seconds and never look back. Why do the people continually allow politicians to abuse them? Why? What right has any woman, man, child to insult another woman by shouting out, "Oor"?
Right.
And if it's a woman, that's a worse sin of anything. Women must stop this business of annihilating each other. We cannot stand up against what is being done to us when we are doing it to our own gender. Stop it. And stop allowing these politicians to lead you by the nose, to take you down into filth and dirt, and forget your values and your culture and your morality and your dignity. What is dignified about a woman standing outside a court shouting "Hoor"? What is dignified about that? And you men, you politicians, seriously, get your brains out of your underpants and put them in your head above your neck where they're supposed to be, and start thinking. Because every time a woman is abused, that could be your mother, it could be your daughter, it could be your sister, it could be your wife.
Right. Thank you so much for that. If you remember, Sekuru said that he's got evidence that those people that were that caught were invited by Wende to come over and do what they did. And he managed to dig out the tweet that was sent by Wende here. It says that it was sent on the day. It says that today the Supreme Court of Zimbabwe will hear our appeal on stopping the ZANU-PF sponsored at Dr. Toko Khupe renegades continued abuse of our name and logo. Let's come in our thousands at 8 a.m. today and support our party and vision. And that was directed to Nelson Chamisa, Povo Zimbabwe, Zim Media Pre-Review, MDC Zimbabwe. That was Wende there inviting people to come over and support what he calls the party. Mukoma Bedford, you heard what happened, and what's your take on it? And you've heard what other people have had to say about it as well. What's your thoughts?
Yes, DJ Sodza, thanks. I think I have been clear on this show that I'm not a big supporter of Chamisa or the MDC. But it is very unfortunate that we also appear to have people on this panel who are bent on tarnishing Nelson Chamisa's name and image. It's character assassination. It's very unfortunate. I think if we are to attack Nelson Chamisa, let's be honest and attack him on factual things. We cannot claim that he abuses his wife. I think that is not documented and factual, like what Chief Soshe was.
It's in the papers. Read the papers.
No. It is wrong. We should not try to assassinate Nelson Chamisa.
The wife is filing for divorce right now because of that.
Let me come to the issue. Chief Soshe muchataura kana ndapedza kutaura. Let me come to the issue at hand here. This was not a man or women issue. All the women who are crying that this is men attacking women, I think they're missing the point. This is a political problem within a political party. It didn't matter whether Khupe was men or women or old or young. This probably could have happened to him. Now, there's again a misperception on Charlton Wende. The tweet that you read there, haisi kutaura kuti angati ndo ataka Dr. Khupe. It is saying, let's come and support our party. There's nothing wrong with that. If you are going to court, that's why you have family members who come with you to support you. Irrespective of the outcome, you need that support. It's natural to say that. Okay? So they call their supporters, there's nothing wrong. Okay? The other problem we make, which is always the problem, especially Kanapakanzipaitwa violence in ZANU-PF. Okay? We tend to assume that
you call your supporters and you are responsible
no.
for their behavior.
Chief Sose, let me finish. So respect me when I'm also speaking. Now, this is a problem that always happens. You have a group of ZANU-PF supporters in Berengwa. They decided on their own to attack somebody. But at the end of the day, we always cry and say ZANU-PF has organized violence. Okay? We also need to realize that at some point, we have bad apples amongst our supporters, and the leadership cannot always account for behavior. What Chamisa has done since this happened is what you expect from your leaders. He put a statement condoning what happened. Charlton Wende was one of the first people to put a statement condoning what happened. That is what you expect from any leadership. Okay? And nobody will say what happened was right, but it can happen amongst undisciplined party supporters. The other thing that I want to highlight, which I've heard frequently coming from all people in the MDC, you keep hearing this name, Vanguard. I don't know what that means, but it appears Sekuru knows that. It appears from what I'm reading, it was a violent organization that was created within the MDC organization specifically to incite violence. Now, what that means to me is over all these years, the opposition has been crying that ZANU-PF is violent. Yet they had a wing within the organization which was designed to incite violence. The only message I'm going to share with the people in the opposition today is, after this election, when you have lost this election, please don't cry that ZANU-PF is a violent party and don't call sanctions on us. We want to move the country forward. You have shown us who is violent and who has been at the center of the violence in Zimbabwe. That is last point I want to make. Last thing, Thokozani Khupe also needs to mature. Okay? This is politics. It's a rough game. She needs to up her game. You can't just cry and say, these supporters are abusing me. This is time to strategize and also stiffen up. Okay? This is politics. That's probably what I would say.
All right.
Can I say one thing, DJ?
I need to answer him.
Yes, you are going to answer. Both of you are going to answer on that. But
I don't want to answer him. I just want to make a quick comment.
Okay.
I just think it's pretty awesome that the ZANU-PF person is the one who supports everything Chamisa and defends when. I think it's amazing, and we should give him a hand.
Yes, what you should realize, Rose, is I'm not. I don't just follow things blindly. Okay, I'm open-minded. Where someone has done nothing wrong, I'm not going to accuse you of doing something wrong. If you follow my arguments,
Rosie, hang on, Rosie. Don't buy into Benford's game.
I'm not attacking you. I'm saying well done. It's amazing. Good job.
Don't buy into Benford's game.
No, I'm not even attacking him. I'm just congratulating him.
Okay, right. Sekuru, you wanted to chip in with something?
Mzukuru wangu Benford nyaza unditereresa uiterere mashoko aya because achakubatsira rimwe gore. For starters, you cannot compare what happened to Togo with what happened to other men in the MDC, because the people that left the MDC under very acrimonious positions are 1 Welshman in Khupe, 2 Mangoma, 3 BT. None of them were called Ure. Yes, they were told off, yes, but none of them were told Murima Ure.
Because the term Ramurukutaura is usually used for women and not men.
Saka, it was a men to women issue.
Some of them were even beaten, like Mangoma.
No,
which is worse.
Hang on. I just wanted you to know that it was a men and a women issue because of that term. The second thing that I want to tell you is that the vanguard that you say I have spoken about, I have never ever spoken good about the vanguard. The vanguard became an issue when they went to Bulawayo to attack Khupe in meeting in a party office.
Seguru, can you explain?
Just hold on. My youth, achamisa.
Because from what I'm reading, it appears they have been there and it's known the structure within them.
The first time that word was used was in Bulawayo. Vachata Katoko. And the Tokaka Afunza Kutis, Bunozitibu Vanguard, Urichi, Nina men elected deputy president of this party. I don't know you. Why are you saying Uri Vanguard? Yay!
And just so everyone knows, one of the vanguards is actually running in Sodza in primaries. Someone who was kicked out for beating up. The VP is running for office, so it's an endorsement. He was kicked out of he was suspended from the party by MT for his behavior indefinitely. But now he is running for MP.
You know what? All these things, I'm sure, and this reading the clear picture by what everybody's talking about. Yes, we heard about the vanguard, but nobody really went into it. This is where in Tohora, Dichimuti, yes, I will apologize to her, and I think she needed much more sympathy, but at the same time, I stand by Kuti. You know what? She should have been much more transparent. She had issues. She should have found a way. This is what is happening, rather than being passive aggressive. Because it's just one who judge on a passive aggressiveness, rather than what really affects what was really happening. The mere fact even there were people who were supposed to go out and hit man. That's so I'm very uncomfortable by that. You know what? Let's step.
May I tell
you why we can't support her. It's the mere fact which was part and parcel of ZANU-PF. I see, truth be told, certain constructions so you know what? Which comes back to what we have always been saying. MDC in a too much rubbish in its house, it needs to clean its house.
Okay.
And the only way people clean its house, zvataitaura kuti ngavaende patable vanotaurirana vovane dialogue vobuda panze vaine one shoko zviri nani. Then now we are finding ourselves here. Nobody's to blame for this.
Right, okay. Really, we have to move on. Sekuru sighting.
Let me finish from where I was. This Mkoi guy led people to Bulawayo, Abad. That was Marina Charlton Winde. Charlton Winde was suspended by the party, including Uyanonzi Tabita Kumalo. They were suspended for the violence in Bulawayo. Mwende wa Amurikuti as the principal architect of the violence is the principal architect of the violence in his MTC. He is sponsoring those guys. He pays for their transport, and he is the trouble in the house right now. He is the one who manipulated the constitution in the National Council to vote for a person who was an ordinary card-carrying member to become a president of the party unconstitutionally. Saga, when you talk and you don't know what is happening, we are not violent people. We have got a youth, a person who is sponsoring violence. And nobody is now become so big, he is untouchable. Even Chamisa cannot challenge him. and when you say Chamisa is not part of it, akavuma endorsement one you akawa adopter, akawa majisa, akatrapa salute in front of the whole nation from them. Thank you. And then you say he is not part of it. We get so disappointed, and to attack our women in Zimbabwe, whichever women, I will be so angry. The first person that I took off account was one person. I got Taura, about my daughter. I don't block anybody, but here because I got about my daughter on my wall, become Vara. So, Belford, get this clear from me. I don't know the vanguard. I don't support the vanguard. I am an MDC member.
Right. Okay. Right. Right. All right, Mkoma,
yes, I just wanted to just remind Benford again. I think he tends to confuse issues here. When he says Toko should stiffen up, are we saying that is the kind of violence politics in Zimbabwe? We want a democratic society where everybody could participate without fear of being harassed or beaten. Be you a leader or an ordinary member participating in the governance of the country. That is what we want. And the other problem, my friend always seem to miss here. When he start talking of there's violence in the opposition and there's also violence in ZANU-PF, what you've got also to understand is that ZANU-PF as the government has got the responsibility to make sure that the institutions like the police are there to stop the violence. And that is exactly what ZANU-PF has failed to do. Right now, there's talk of there's going to be inter-party dialogue to stop the violence. The police is there to make sure that if there is violence, they carry out the investigation, they charge whoever is responsible, they're taken to court, they are sentenced. But ZANU-PF has undermined all that. Now it wants ordinary members to do their own policing. That is not an issue.
Can I respond to Khupe, DJ Sodza in 1 minute? Now, what I meant, Pananjiti Toko should toughen up Wilbert. Given what happened to funeral kwa Changira Kubohera, okay? Given what happened over the weekend when Thokozani Khupe wanted to launch her party manifesto in Harare and they failed to do that, she should have anticipated that could happen, and she should have put measures to ensure that she will not be embarrassed like that. That is what you do when you're in politics. Okay, you read the environment surrounding you, whether it's ideal or not. You also have to come up with strategic ways to deal with what is coming at you. If you just cry and cry and cry like like what we are doing here, then how does she progress with her political party?
So how do you stop people calling you a hoor? What
she can't go to bed. She can't go to
stop people calling you a hoor.
Sorry, she can't go anywhere. She only be able to have a political rally in Makoko and Bulawayo. And so she has to come up with good ways to deal with what is coming her way. I'm not saying it's right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Zimbabwe. We'll be back after
This
2
is a
minutes.
disclaimer. The opinions expressed by contributors during radio call-in shows are solely those of the individual callers and do not reflect the opinions of Zimnet Radio, DJs, presenters, managers or administration. Listeners are encouraged and advised to seek the services of qualified professionals for their personal problems.
In touch with the best online station, Zimnet Radio.
Join DJ Sodza and his informative team live every Thursday at 9 p.m. UK time, discussing Zimbabwean politics.
It is a Thursday, and you know what that means. It's a men's corner show with yours truly, DJ Sodza.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are listening to DJ Sodza live on Zimnet Radio.
Make the whole world know about your business. Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com.
Sorry guys,
What's the difference between you and me?
right, okay. Please hold on. Please just give me a second.
It's just sad.
Yeah, give me a second, please, guys. Now, guys, for the benefit of moving on, and there's lots happening, and there've been lots happening in the past week. So really, I just want to squeeze this, finding Savior Kasukuwere walking free from the airport there, even going to ZBC and giving an interview there. Sitting there with Ruben Barwe, laughing and chatting and causing. I just thought, wow, is that one of the criminals that were being, chased out of the country, and they were in exile for 6 months, and now to come to that welcome and no problem at all. What is this? I mean, maybe Ininangwa being making a small issue into a big issue here. But I don't know. Yeah, let's go back on Seguru first. Seguru, what did you make of all this?
I think it's a much bigger issue than just Kasukuwere coming and getting this reception and it looks honky-dory, as you say.
Yeah.
I think there are undercurrents there that we are not properly reading. You see, the thing is, now that a pledge has been made to the international community that the elections are going to be free and fair, what better way to pull wool on the eyes of the international community than to bring in nemesis number one with guarantees of non-prosecution and non-violence, and then parade national TV. What better propaganda than that? And then what will happen after the elections, after these people have gone, might be a totally different story altogether. So in my view, I think it's an election gimmick, grandstanding for international community, so that in the event the elections are lost by the opposition, the international community will say this is the will of the people of Zimbabwe. For how else can they say a person who the whole army wanted to kill returned and did not get even a finger put on his shoulder by anyone?
And on top of that, Zekulu, on top of that, goes to the national television studios and have an interview with the chief reporter there that the opposition have not had a 10 minutes interview with the ZBC.
To show you that this is a political grandstanding, or we call it astroturfing public relations affair. You will not get that anywhere else in the world except in countries like Iran or Iraq, where a person will be paraded after being arrested and tortured, and they will be told to stand in front of TV cameras and they pronounce that they are being looked after very well and everything is hunky-dory. This is what they are using. So as far as I'm concerned, it's chapter 1. Let's see where it will end after the elections. I am sure somebody is going to regret ever having been cheated into doing that stand.
All right. So Seguru thinks that this is a political stunt to try and show the world that, even those people that thinks that Zimbabwe might be killed when you go there, they are welcome. This is a new dispensation. Now, Tete Rosie, what did you make of that? You see the men coming through and absolutely lovely, getting in a nice car and go, and within a few hours was being interviewed by the ZBC there, saying that I'm going to do farming now, and laughing and chatting.
No, just to be honest with you, I just thought, there we go, we're always being played. How much of what happened, how much of it was real, how much of it was fake, how much of it was staged? That was my first thought, honestly. And then I saw a picture of him having beers with Themba Mliswa, who's supposedly grilling everyone for corruption. And I thought, well, if Kasukuwere is a corrupt one, is Themba Mliswa going to be grilling him too? I mean, the whole thing, to me, I'm just like, ZANU-PF, I'm going. Yeah, you just look at it, you're like, every time Sekuru say, do not ever get involved with anything ZANU-PF, he's always been right. Don't listen to anything they say, he's always been right. Because you don't know what they're going to do tomorrow.
Wow. Right. Okay. Thank you so much. Regarding the Panam Mkoma, who was next? I think it's Mkoma Wulbet. Mkoma Wulbet, what did you make of that? Did you think it was a stunt? Do you think that really maybe Kasukuwere was never the criminal that they were looking for? But one might wonder, why did he disappear on the day of the coup? And only to come 6 months down the line. And not a finger was laid on him. And not only that, but goes to ZBC and give a long interview there.
I think when you look at ZANU-PF, big operatives like Kasukuwere, Jonathan Moyo, Mnangagwa himself, and Mugabe, they each know so much about the other person to the point where they know if they were to try to squeeze Kasukuwere too much, he will reveal a lot more about them that will be very damaging. So that game has always been a game where they each have got to calculate what the other one is going to do. I think in this particular case, it's more a situation where they are saying, well, Kasukuwere actually it'll be better for him in the tent than outside the tent, the ZANU-PF tent. Because when he's in, we can control him. When he's outside, like Jonathan Moyo is doing, he's always threatening to release certain information that could be very damaging. So I think even Jonathan Moyo, if he was to agree to come, although in his case, of course, he is worried that Mnangagwa may not keep his promise. He may think that no, Jonathan Moyo will never keep his promise either. So they so they don't trust each other. So you never know what could happen. But nonetheless, I think them coming into the country, Mnangagwa will feel even more comfortable because he can control them a lot more. And that is the reason why he has kept Mugabe in the country. And that is the reason why he has given Mugabe everything he wanted. Because he knew that if he was to grill Mugabe, Mugabe will reveal a lot more about Mnangagwa, which would destroy Mnangagwa in turn. So this is a situation where you are trying to trade off which is the worst of the any given situation. And I think this is what is happening here. And I agree with you as well that in this particular case, they are granting Kasukuwere airtime, but they are not granting the opposition any airtime. Again, ZANU-PF is determined to hang on to power. And that is one thing that most people should never forget. ZANU-PF is not willing to give up any power. So in terms of holding on to power, anything that helps them to meet that end they will do it. Anything that in any way threatens their hold on power, they will never do it. They may appear to be doing it only to deceive you, but with no intention of ever doing it, like holding free and fair elections. ZANU-PF will never hold free and fair elections. Those who believe it, they're absolutely out of, they're dreaming, they're daydreamers. That will never happen. ZANU-PF will never give up power. That is the reality.
Okay. Aiwa, thank you so much, Mukoma, for that. Again, Tito Mashoko, I think was next. Tito Mashoko, seeing what you saw with Savior Kasukuwere there, I was flabbergasted, to be honest with you. We were led to believe that he was one of those criminals that were targeted, and never to be seen in that morning of November. And only to come back, like me, when I go there, airport, we go home, we chat. The only thing is they don't give me any airtime with ZBC. Absolutely, it's incredible. Now, what do you make of that? So, why was he outside the country? I mean, it's incredible, isn't it?
It's negotiation, sorry. It's negotiation. That guy was negotiating. Not only negotiating. If you remember quite consistently, those people know and now and again they have to remind each other, don't forget just a step further. Imba ya anonzane president wedu ya Chiwenga, not Chiwenga mwacho. Chiwenga tozi watu une mafamu shira atitaure iye Mnangagwa atitombo taure. Saka chimboni taurira imese munoshanda muri pana. Imari chaizvo yavaitambira mu government muya yekukwanisa kutenga mapalasi iwaya. Imari chaiyo. So at the end of the day, vanhu vaive vakafara stereki vakati zviri nani Mugabe ngaende, at least Mnangagwa, anything new is better than you are now seeing them for who they are. ZANU-PF will remain ZANU-PF and they will look after each other until the day people actually, go back and say, you know what, enough is enough. The sad part of it, vanhu vatati chitarisira kuti kuda ndo vangapinde vochinja zvinhu, onai kurwa kwachona kwavari kuita. It's really sad.
All right. Aiwa, Tete, thank you so much for that. And Suzauti, Chief Shoshe there is the Chief Udai. Makazona will say, Mikuti, Muruma, or Tati Fungi, Arimo Mbutu, Jonathan Moyo. These are criminals that we wanted least. Angadzoke mu Zimbabwe achimhara pa airport apo, like what you and me could do, and given airtime, ZBC, laughing and chatting and, you know, saying very cozy and saying that he's going to farm now and do his business because it's his country.
It's political science 101, DJ. ZANU-PF is teaching us a political lesson here. He's teaching us as opposition what we must do if we want power. ZANU-PF is the grandmaster. ZANU-PF is in the business of staying in power, and they know how to stay in power. When it matters most, they regroup and do what they have to do, unite. Because they've mastered, they know that there is a victory in unity. And that's something that we as opposition cannot do. We have always failed at the finishing line because we simply cannot unite, or we tear each other apart just before an important election, like what is happening right now. It just takes people to sit down and talk as mature people, negotiate. And when you negotiate, you don't negotiate with the people you are in agreement with. You negotiate with the person you are at loggerheads with, the person you were shouting with against yesterday. He is the person you invite to the table by whatever means. By whatever means. You do what it takes for you to unify, to unite, so that you face your enemy united, because there is victory in unity. And that's what we are failing as opposition. Right now, Mnangagwa knows that he's going to need people like Kasukuwere and the other G40. What does he do? He draws Kasukuwere, who is one of the important members of G40, divide and rule at the same time. You know, he is no longer there, he is now here. He has been promised immunity, obviously. So now he comes back and he is going to get a role. Definitely, we have seen it happening. We have seen people, top officials in ZANU-PF being fired from ZANU-PF and getting rehired again and getting incorporated again. And that's exactly what you should do if you want to stay in power. You know, you don't want to create or to end up with many enemies. What we are doing in opposition right now is we have created so many enemies. We don't even know what is going to hit us. We don't even know, you know, who is fighting us and whom we are supposed to be fighting. We are now spending more time fighting each other than to be fighting ZANU-PF. And I'm telling you right now that even when we lose the election, we don't even know where we are going to go, because we cannot go to the international community, because the international community is seeing everything that is happening in Zimbabwe. The ambassadors are seeing everything that is happening in Zimbabwe. They are seeing more violence coming from the opposition than from ZANU-PF. They are seeing a lot that we used to accuse ZANU-PF of happening in the opposition. You know, so what are we going to say? What are we going to run to the United Nations or SADC or OU? What are we going to tell them when we lose the election? So it's very unfortunate. But going back to the issue, I think Mnangagwa is just showing that he's a master at his game. He's bringing back the people whom he think will help him win an election, because winning an election to him is the uppermost. It's important. And that's what we fail as opposition to realize, that we need to win the president. We need to win the election. And for that, we need every vote, even if it is 3% or 5% that Thokozani is going to run away with. We need that. And we should be engaging each other and going into this election as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chief there. Thank you. Sally.
Yeah.
Yes, Sally. I don't know. What did you make of Kasukuwere coming back to, is ordinary ordinary Zimbabwe coming back home and straight to ZBC studios and chat with Ruben Barwe there?
I burst out laughing. I absolutely, that was one thing that I did see, because there was a video and I saw Kasukuwere and I thought, hey, wait a minute, and I watched it. I just packed up laughing. You see, I have never been one of the people that believed Kasukuwere was a big G40 guy. I don't know why. I have always associated him with Mnangagwa. And then him keeping very quiet and not saying anything. Of course, Moyo, I mean, that's just the butter, what do they call it? The butter, those flip-flops. That's what Moyo is like to me, okay? I mean, I can't handle the man, but anyway. But Kasukuwere, for me, has always been an Emerson guy, okay? I don't know why I've always associated him with Mnangagwa. Yes, he was there in the G40 and stuff like that, but to me that was just a show, okay? And then he left the country. Look, if the army wanted to kill Kasukuwere and Jonathan Moyo, the amount of shots that they were supposed to have shot at Moyo's house, and they never killed one single person, please, then the army is rubbish. or the game is a setup. And to me, Kasukuwere was just coming home to see his daddy. Mnangagwa.
His daddy Mnangagwa. Thank you so much, Sally, for that. Mkoma Bedford.
Yes, DJ Sodza.
Yeah, Mkoma Bedford. Were you surprised seeing Kasukuwere coming back? Kanaguti, really people are just taking this is just a Zimbabwe coming back home.
Yeah, I think people are making an issue out of no issue at all.
Right.
To understand this, you have to go and listen to ED's inauguration speech. He said, "Let bygones be bygones." There were people at that time wakanga vari self-imposed exiles, like Wanamboko. Mboko came back, nothing happened to him. Sarama Walker at that point was in Mozambique and she stayed briefly in exile. She came back, nothing happened to her. She has been part of the opposition party, I think NPF party, campaigning against ED. Nothing has happened to her. So, and ED mentioned this again, I think in South Africa. He said we still have these three guys who are still acting funny. They need to come home. And people dismiss that, but it is true. The truth of the matter is, Kasukuwere and Jonathan Moyo probably they would have been killed. They would be dead by now. But at this point, I think it's good that Kasukuwere made this decision to come, because ED. He has to ensure that he's seen by the international community to uphold the rule of law. If anything, Kasukuwere will have to be kusungwa mapurisa, he has to be brought before a judge, and for that you need a case effectual, not a case yakabikwa. Okay? So, in as far as Kasukuwere is concerned, his crime yakanga against Chiwenga, he said a lot of nonsense. Leading to that coup. Just like Grace, he had challenged the army, you can't do anything if you think you can attack us, all that nonsense that he said. So that is what was going to get him killed. But at the moment, I think to build any case against Kasukuwere, it will be very, very difficult. Those are cases, they can try it to embarrass him, but I can assure you, Kasukuwere will be able to do his farming without any problem.
Right.
For Jonathan Moyo, it might be tricky because he had a case already pending. He misused my funds. amount to about 400,000. So that's a case, if he lands on the airport today, they can arrest him there and there and charge him. So it might be tricky for Jonathan Moyo. For Patrick Joao, I don't even know why he's claiming to be in exile. He can come back and he will still go about his life. So to finish, my point here is these were guys vakanga vachingotikawo zvavo vachingozvinetsa, but there's never been any tangible threat to them. If anything, what Kasukuwere said is what I would expect. If he has done anything wrong, then like any Zimbabwean, he will be charged with his case. He will be brought before a judge, and he will be tried. If he has a case to answer, that will be the outcome. So what he did and showing that Zimbabwe is still a democracy.
Yeah, it's a democracy, right? Sorry, Nkoma, I've got a few questions for you. You said, maybe Mnangagwa said bygones, the bygones. Saka, if tomorrow they tell us that actually the president is back, Mugabe is back, he's back.
He's back where?
He's back to be president.
No, that's not going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Okay. He was removed following a democratic process, and there's no way of reversing that or returning that. The only way, if he goes to court, if Mugabe goes to court akawina nyaya yake before my next election, then he can come back. But realistically, it's not going to happen. There's no way of that would be academic and hypothetical, talk that we can have.
Right, Mukoma Benford, it looks as if you've got a lot of information that you might share with us. Now, tell me, someone who don't follow politics in Zimbabwe, when I saw Wana Moyo na Chiwenga, they are targeting the criminals around the president. Can you name me 5 criminals that they meant there?
No. That was just that was a statement. It's part of the politics. So there
was no criminals. There was no criminals. It was just the time for Mnangagwa to take over now from Mugabe. Is that what you're saying?
It's right, DJ Sodza. What happened was a coup, and you can't deny that was a coup. And these guys had to justify a coup and try to normalize the abnormal at that point. And their argument was we are not mingling in party politics, okay? But we are just eliminating these people. It's just soft language that they used, but that was never the case.
So no one was was ever eliminated, was it?
No. It was a matter of death and life for them, because if it was not them, removing Mugabe, then probably Chiwenga could have been dead himself, or he might have been in prison by now. So they're also fighting for their own, for their own lives more than they claim to be fighting for Zimbabweans. Okay, it's all politics.
So basically, there was no criminals. So there was no criminals.
It wasn't a coup.
There was no criminal there. What I can tell you here is
a political coup. Finished.
The problem with my case is a corruption that are leveled against one of the criminals. Yeah? Those will be difficult to prove in a court of law.
What about Chombo?
I know someone was asking, how do they build those mansions and stuff like that? You know that there's some form of corrupt money that went into that, but to prove it in a law of court is one thing altogether. Okay. Remember, these people were forming to my companies, tenders, that's how they were making all that money. And they can prove, they can give you my receipts, my transactions that were taking place. So in a law of court, even Chombo, he is going to walk free. Okay, nothing will come out of it.
And what about Chihuri?
He was just unfortunate. He was in the country and he went through what he went through. But in a law of court, I think he's going to walk free.
All right.
Chihuri, they are not going to to do anything to embarrass him, because he can also open a can of worms. So they are not even going to attempt to, to bring
Who is supposed to be out the country?
Okay, guys. All right.
One question. Just one question.
Yeah,
sorry, ndikupindira nasingadi kupindira, but Benford wati Mugabe was removed constitutionally, and then you say that was a coup. Mungadi clarify about kuti.
Yes, zvandiri kuridza kutaura sekuruka ndezvekuti coup iku yakatoitika iyoya. Whether you want to call it kuti haisi coup or chi, the truth of the matter is it was a coup. Andika? That is why even imwe opposition vakanga muchitosupportawo muchitoti kuparliament kuya tinoda kuti aimpeachwe tudini, even though taiziva kuti chi apa iku yatoitika. After that they tried to legitimize Mnangagwa's president, which they did successfully using ZANU-PF and the country's constitution. Okay, so that's how they worked it. So those are not that's the democratic election in Mnangagwa. They used the constitution to justify a coup, which has helped the country overall. I think it helped the country because if the international community had deemed that a coup,
it was a coup.
And then Mugabe wakabviswa constitutionally. Mugabe wakabviswa ne coup. Mnangagwa came onto power constitutionally.
What was your answer when the DJ asked you to come Mugabe? What was your answer?
That it's a theoretical question. It's purely academic. There is no way Mugabe can come now between now and my elections, the next elections. After next election, it will be irrelevant to talk of Mugabe because nengatane a result iripo. So you cannot reinstate Mugabe after next year.
Okay.
Ngaise matambo,
right. Regaiti tokutende pana mkomatafadzwa in a second. But let me read a couple of messages here. This one is saying, DJ hama dzangu kusvikira rini muchingokandirwa munyembeni sehowe neZANU-PF muchingodyira pazvirauro. We are busy cutting and dissing each other instead of unity of purpose, making ZANU-PF accountable to their recent 2013 election manifesto, promises and lies. Kwanzi, this is what everyone should be doing, holding ZANU-PF to account. This one is saying that, DJ, thank you so much. So, no criminals, then Mugabe should be reinstated. If there were no criminals, so those guys were lying, there was no criminal, so Mugabe should rightly be reinstated. And skuzoti magutsikana ere nemhinduro yamapuwa na mgoma Benford there patavabvunza kuti kana vari kunzi kuri kunzi ko there was no criminal whatsoever. So really Mugabe should come back, shouldn't he? Mgoma tafadzwa. Mgoma tafadzwa muripo here. Wabanga kuchirande.
Yes, DJ Sodza.
Oh, okay. Maapo manje.
Right. Nandanga mute.
Oh, okay. Right. Andisukuzoti mamuri kuti tsvaga, I know kuti mamuri kutambudzika kuti Skype ziminate akuspeeda but mazotibata manje kuno kwatiri nasi. Andisukuzoti mafona we were just talking about nyaya Kasukuwere coming back to a free Zimbabwe there and walking through the airport, really lovely, like what you and me could do when we go to enjoy. And goes to ZBC and given. I thought he was one of the criminals because coup. I don't know. What did you make of that? Has he been forgiven?
No. You see, that's why Kinini, I believe ZANU-PF is a mafia party. It operates as a mafia organization. noziya wanana El Chapo ma mafia church wekuti whatever goes is what is going on at the present time. It does not matter what is the legal system, what laws are being broken or anything. It has nothing to do with the people of Zimbabwe, with the suffering of the people of Zimbabwe, or the desires or the adherence to the rule of law. So what you saw there was a mafia play. Purely mafia play, nothing to do with the sovereign nation that has laws and a constitution and courts where, because when somebody in the way that Kasukuwere left, you would almost define him as a fugitive from the law. He ran away because based on the language criminals that surrounded the president. You notice with Pageta coup, the army was sent into his house. Papa Nema soldier, remember those videos that circled around? Zimbabwe said, Masoja, worry, very curious about it. And this guy had left the country. Then this week, he comes back wearing his nice cap, his nice shirt, looking very well. My journalists are all surrounding him, asking him questions. A car rolls over there, Right. Shortly after that, Ruben Barwe hosted him, gave him a nice cup of drink, coffee, whatever beverage he got, and they had a good interview. DJ Sodza, Zimbabwe is a sovereign nation that we would expect is governed by laws, is governed by the institutions that protect the country. No way in any functional democracy would you find a fugitive who left the country in the way he left, with the circumstances that he left upon, which was a coup or a threat to the nation. When you get to those levels, and discuss what treason, treason charges, you're a threat. You can exemplify that to the treason charges that were charged against Morgan Tsvangirai and how he was treated at the time. You remember that famous picture ya Morgan Tsvangirai akabarurwa sheti murumsoro mune bandage umu. That was to do with the treason charges that Morgan Tsvangirai was falsely charged against at the time. Then you compare this to this guy. I mean, the accusations are similar, but the treatments are different. You ask yourself, of course, why is it different? That's how I come to the use of the word mafia, because that's how this party operates. I'm going to threaten your life, you're going to run. Then you negotiate, okay, you can come back. That's not how a country functions, and that is the basis and the premise of why ZANU-PF does not deserve to govern the nation of Zimbabwe. Because you know what, Zimbabwe to be in a better place. Our future is so much in life support because of this. Because next year, who knows? Well, but when a threat, because even the army came out, that Khupe guy came out, I thought army will never salute President Chamisa. Tatopa number 2, Tatopa name a threat again. You see? And then maybe down the road, one Netanafutu ZANU-PF again. So my message to the people of Zimbabwe is ZANU-PF has to go. Our country really needs to be shaken. The judicial system, the police force, my institutions, they do aura, and they need to be rebuilt. Brand new, with new faces, with new leaders. Because I mean, the same old people are not going to change what they already know right now. That's not going to change.
Sodza, can I ask Mkoma Tafazwa one question? Mkoma Tafazwa, ndokumbira kuti munditsanangurire mutemo usina kutevedzerwa pakudzoka kwakaita Kasukuwere. And mondudza the difference between kubuda kwakaita Mnangagwa nokudzoka kwaakaita in the country and kubuda kwakaita Kasukuwere nokudzoka kwaakaita, and what is the difference between my cases awo, and why should one be prosecuted from budira wakaita nomudzokera wakaita and the other one be left?
I'll respond to you. Those are that mafia behavior. None of them were in a legal basis. Exit ya Mnangagwa and re-entry. Exit ya Kasukuwere and re-entry. Exit ya Mpoko and re-entry. None of them met the legal test, because they should have first of all been apprehended, because they were sought for. The military was around Kasukuwere's house. The military ramshackled Ignatius Chombo's house. Oh, so you're telling me there was nothing? There's nothing. They did nothing.
It actually could be the military guys because they had no right to be looking for Kasukuwere in the first place.
So exactly my point. There is a legal issue. There is something that has to be legally cured. Not just kuti munano famba ungodzoka scot free like that akapfeka camp. No way. Yeah. Especially when the military was involved, when they sent tankers onto the streets of Zimbabwe, and you tell me munano ngodzoka zvake isu takaona army iri pamba pasave Kasukuwere. Saka it's a game. It's a power game. Mnangagwa akabhekana na Kasukuwere, Mugabe akabhekana na Mnangagwa, Mnangagwa akabhekana na Mugabe, and they played us all. And what are they doing for us? What are they doing for us? It's their game. And they need to go. They cannot continue to play with our emotions, with our future, with our security, and the hopes and dreams we have for our children. Their children are fine. Sevia Kasukuwere UK, Emerson Mnangagwa's kids, some of them even want to get into parliament or get seats. What about us? What is there for us? Right. We need to go. We need new leadership in Zimbabwe. Okay. They say Kuti, it's a new dispensation. It is not. The same personalities are the ones running the country right now.
All right.
Yes, sorry, okay.
No, talking of new dispensation. Sekuru, 1 minute answer, man. Talking of new dispensation, I was speaking to people back home, and they were telling me that, you know what, text messages are coming through saying that check your details. If your details are correct, you can vote and you can come and vote. And ID number, polling station, and if incorrect, go and get it sorted. This is a good thing, isn't it, Seku? Lovely. New dispensation. Sorry?
Anyway, I know what you are talking about. Zeke has been sending out my letters in register telephone numbers.
Yes. Is that not a good thing?
They are reminding them that these are the records. Well, they are reminding the people that this is what is now in our records, and they are. If there is no other chicanery behind that, it is the perfect way of confirming a member's details, isn't it? But then this is Zimbabwe. Maybe they want to confirm kuvota registry check-up chaiyo actual. Ungodzwa message ichocho. Chimessage chiya chabva mufoni. Iwe wakonfirma kuti ndosaka ndavepo. Yoshiftiwa yoiswa kune imwe constituency. Hauchakwanisi kuvota. maybe zvinogona kuitika this is zano, anything can happen. But really speaking, if it is done in good faith, that's proper and quite appropriate. But probably probably pane hidden hand so for the purposes of manipulating the people's constituencies.
So let me read something. Someone is saying that, guys, Zek is sending messages to people saying if the information we have sent to you about your details is correct, don't bother going to verify. But guess what? My neighbor found the message details correct, but he still went out to check out of interest. Went to go and check only to find his details in total disarray. What does this mean, fellow Zimbabweans? Zek has come up with yet another method of rigging. Please, and I will check whether or not you have received that message. That is someone here. Whether it's a hoax, I don't.
So I've just echoed that person from my suspicions. But it didn't go to my suspicions.
All right. Chief Sodza, it's a good thing, isn't it, that the text messages are coming? At least in that time, I wonder, do you think it's a good thing? Chief Sodza, mind up with you.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay. Ndikati, were you happy with the text message sent to people?
We welcomed it when it came, but now with the reports that we are seeing, we are now actually being warned to ignore those text messages, and people are being encouraged to go physically and check their names in the voter roll. But at the same time, I think we've all had the information that the European Union has offered to do an independent audit, pay for it and do everything so that there is an independent audit. So I think that's a good thing. That is if ZEC is going to allow them to do that, because that will definitely deal with all the things that we have heard that they are happening with the voters' roll, that there are people who are 101 years old, 102 years old, who are going to be voting. So we welcome what the European Union has done, and I hope ZEC will allow them to come in.
Right. Anyone with a different perspective of things about these text messages?
DJ Sodza, what I can say is, if anything, having that record your message on your phone will help you whatever games they might want to play on the election day, because it's confirmation that waka register
not really.
So there's no way they are going to deny you to vote come what election day.
No, not really.
But also you can still, even after sending a message, you can still go ahead and check. What they're basically saying is it might save you time.
No, not really. ZANU-PF haitambi chidaro. Anything chakanaka chaunokandirwa neZANU-PF pamberi pako, just to know kuti vari kutrovera something shiny, so that it distracts you for a second. Oh, something shiny. You concentrate on that, vachikurobha blind. Vanhu ngavaende manually vonosvika vocheka vega kuti ndizvo. Anything else zvema-text message, never. Not ZANU-PF mbavha dzemako.
Let me finish. What's wrong with that? This is technology that we have. You can send that message.
Hang on.
That message to 1 million people at once. Once you've captured that information on your computer, instead of going.
Has it got your ID number on that message as well? Is your ID number included in that message?
Yes, there is, yes.
Yeah. But that's not right. Because if something goes wrong,
we encourage
your ID can then be captured by whoever. Yes.
You people.
Do you know in South Africa to send your ID in a text message is illegal? To even give
that's
ID.
South Africa. This was an option that people were given by register. Do you want to receive a message by text, by email? And they said yes. And now you are saying there's a problem on here. The option to say no.
Here's
what we're encouraging voters to do. If you choose to use the text, that's fine. But you have to go to verify that you're registered. Which is Onerambune.
And most of them would be wasting their time because they are going to confirm what has already been confirmed.
No, because you cannot completely rely on that.
They have nothing to lose, but they're wasting their time.
No.
Our problem is
voters should go and verify that they registered. Period. Go and see with your own eyes. Period.
And that's why the voters.
That's correct. It's on a technical issue here. Can I just comment on a technical issue? This voters' roll is going to be done on your biometric data. That means even if your ID, you come with the right ID, if your picture is not in the computer, they will say no. That was the whole purpose of the biometric system. So in this particular case, being sent this text message does not confirm anything because I think you have wandered into a very technical issue of data protection, where Facebook is facing problems because of what Benford is saying. Because people agreed when they joined Facebook to say we are going to use your data and this and they said yes. Now the problem now is Facebook is being held to account for why the data ended up being used for political reasons.
This is a trick by ZANU-PF. Voting. Your data is not correct and you turn away. This is a trick.
If the picture is wrong, if the picture is wrong, you lose out on voting. It doesn't matter whether you've got ID, it doesn't matter anything. People have to go and check. Disregard those messages, delete them.
You people, I don't even know what you want. Biometric.
No, we are going according to what we want. Biometric allows for somebody to physically inspect it, to go and inspect. So don't say we don't. We were taught by the best.
I'm saying, want biometric voting, we want what. Now it's done.
Text message,
security. Message means nothing, Benford, in biometric voting. Okay? Because biometric depends on a picture.
Sally, the problem that we have as Zimbabweans is
on a picture.
We don't trust our government to the extent that they do. We are suspicious.
What is it that they do that makes us trust them? Tell me one thing that they've done the last 6 months that you'd say we can trust them, or the last 37 years. Why should we trust them?
The last 6 months, they've allowed all the politicians to campaign free in the country.
That's in the Constitution. That's in the Constitution. It should have been allowed all along. You see, that's why we don't trust them. This is not a little birthday present. This is constitutional, basic stuff that should have been there all along. So there's nothing special about what you just said. That we
special.
So I'm telling you that there's no reason why we should trust.
I'm sorry, guys. I've got a question here for Chief Sodza. Chief Sodza, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Chief Sodza, it is believed that you slipped a tongue earlier on here, and people are asking a question. You said that Nelson Chamisa's wife is in courts filing for divorce. Is that correct? Is that correct information?
Yeah, that's what we read in the national newspapers. No, is that correct? That is not correct. Is that correct? we is that correct? Whether it's correct or not correct, but I'm going by what I read in the national newspapers. It's public information. It's available. It's there. So you can also check if you want to double check whether it's correct or not.
Did you verify it? Because once you start saying things, it means you verify the authenticity.
No.
How can you spread something you have not
saying here? We have read.
No. When you say somebody is getting divorced, you are somebody who's speaking on a national radio. You have to authenticate the information.
International.
Right, international.
I'm not talking about something that I heard.
Exactly.
I'm talking about something that was. So that's why we asked
DJ, I'm gonna go. DJ, I have to go.
All right, thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay, thanks.
Good night, Rosie.
Okay, good night, guys. I have to do some work.
I know my rumors the WhatsApp I am
Tafadzwa.
Segur.
Muzukuru wangu tafadzwa. I am worried that you are now spearheading the constitutional debate. Because when we started about the Chamisha issue, you said everything ticked the box, only for the matter to end up in court.
You're taking us. I'm not prepared to go down back that road.
All right.
We've moved on.
Why? Okay. All right. Depends on the way.
Can I ask Benford something, please?
Yes.
Okay. Biometric voting depends on voter identity.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in the text message, does it send you a text with your picture and your information?
No.
Okay. So, how do you know that the photo that is supposed to be attached to your ID in the biometric voting is the correct photo?
Okay, what you are saying, Saliga, does not make sense. Even between to go there physically to inspect it, in that case it doesn't matter. Because come what election day, you come and you'll be told to go to.
Right.
So from what you are saying, it doesn't matter. There's no purpose of even going back to
come on, stop.
Excuse me. Please.
That's what you are saying. That's basically what you are saying.
No, I am saying people disregard
the it on election day, so that you are in the wrong
and check your biometric.
Not there. It won't stop them just because you
go and check your biometric details. Disregard the text message because biometrics depends on photo identification.
Sorry. One thing kungotenda zvangu muzukuru wangu anonzi Sodza. What happened is ndakakumbira the other day kuti apewe munhu uya unonzi Nyemba. Nyemba email yangu andinyorere achindiudza zvaada kutaura ndigomuudza nezvemukoma wanga anonzi William. That message was conveyed and this guy wrote to me. I know the guy who's Zimbabwe, DJ Wakanyepa, Dogara, Zimbabwe, UK.
Yeah.
And this is Muna Wanyemba, William. Got Sakanaka, Master Fanana, and Okunga. But Jewish Kupindura Guti, Inini, Shawagata Ura Sacho, and this is those Ataka and the cheat I need. Saka. Ndakamutikana uchida evidence yokuti ndikuratidze kuti ndinani uye zvechicha ndirikutaura ndokutumidzira ndakamirira kuti apindure haana kuzopindura asi ndoda kutenda kuti wakaita basa muzukuru.
Alright, munotenda sekuru ngaindiverenge imwe message iri kupinda panapa directed to Mukoma Bedford, but unfortunately you won't have time to respond to this one. He's saying that DJ, it hurts to hear people who managed to escape poverty kuya ku diaspora. It pains kunzwa Mukoma Bedford defend the party which has really brought our beloved country down, and caused so much suffering for our relatives. Hauna moyo here kana hama dzatambudzwa neZANU-PF. Benford freed Zimbabwe. Mwari wakuitire nyasha. Where you can have choice. When were you last home, my friend, my brother? Tinembava dzakaba dzikabvuma, and they are walking free. One word, Zimbabwe, is for us all, not for ZANU-PF. Good night and thank you.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
All right.
Wakaudzwa nani undakatiza nhamo? Did you know my case ndandauya ku-US? Some of us hatina kuita mwiri wamakaita akavana svosve. Chief Soshe, do you know my history and how I ended up here?
I don't know.
DJ Sodza, what were you going to read?
Saka musataura zvamusingazivi handirega.
Including myself.
Musataura zvamusingazivi. Musataura zvamusingazivi.
Okay. Okay, guys.
Can I just ask you something? Yes. Can you check with the people in Zimbabwe when they go to check for Pama voters roll? Do they have the facility to check their biometric details?
Yeah.
Because I think it's raising an important question there.
Yeah, I can ask that. I will have to ask that because ndakatotumirwa a lot of my text messages. Ndakamuti nai nditumirei just forward the message. Ndopandakaona kuti they were writing the name of the person, the national identity of the person, and where they are
dangerous,
and where they are registered to vote. You know, the area that they are going to vote. So those are the three important information that was in there: a full name, full identity card number, and where they are going to vote. But there was no pictures there. So I should ask them, were there any faces of them, pictures out when they go to voters' room to tell us? I shall ask that, I'll come back to you.
That is very important. Very, very important. Because that can be a way of rigging. You go and vote the day of voting, okay, and you hand in your details, and next to your biometric details is the picture of, I don't know, Chipanga or something like that, okay, and the name is Sodza, okay, and then you can't vote, and then what happens? But mysteriously, all the ZANU-PF ones will be correct.
Yeah. All right, guys. All right, Sally, thank you so much. My thanks to everyone. Again, let me apologize for some of my listeners. I know that, you see, this show is a 3-hour long, but 2 hours is for discussion, genuine panelists. But first hour, I normally come and just play music for people. And I thought people didn't really like that music or 1 hour I do play. But I noticed people will be asking what's going on, is the show not there? So people do really listen from the start. So thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. And also apologies. It was 30 minutes delay today due to some stuff that was happening. It's not that I was late to Kubasa. No, it was not that. I had some technical problems. Technical. But yes, yeah. Technical problems, but it was sorted. So I hope you enjoyed the show today. For those in the UK, I wish you a fantastic weekend. I know that it's a long weekend. We've got bank holiday on Monday. So for some of us, off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, going to Mabasa back on Tuesday. And the weather is looking fantastic. So for those that want to... Yes, gochi, Brian Negeriti. Right.
Are you going to gochi a goat?
Yes, it's a good...
Hey, you know what? If you get a sheep, you must the tail of the sheep. You must get a sheep with a tail, and you take that and you wrap it with tin foil and you put it on the fire and you let it gotcha.
Yeah, but the meat here, Sally, the meat here, whether you do that or not, it tastes like some bark of a tree which I used to chew when I was
no, then you must go and buy a sheep by the farm. You mustn't buy a sheep. I know. When I lived in Europe, Sekuru, I missed the taste of meat.
All right. Sekuru ndine message yenyu kuno pane muzukuru wenyu ari kuti hanzi akutumira message. Hanzi, can you please tell Sekuru to check his messages? But you know that's private. No muzukuru wenyu Sekuru. Hopefully someone
Sekuru doesn't answer any.
WhatsApp here kauti pandikiri.
Andisiziva kuti regai ndivabvunze mukoma muri kuti matumira Sekuru message matumira paWhatsApp here pa-messenger here kana kuti pa-email so that Sekuru can access the so that Sekuru can access it and respond to you quickly. Now, zvandava kuita pana paZimbabwe ndokusiya makateerera. Mukati?
Iri paWhatsApp.
Maiona?
Maiona paWhatsApp.
Okay. All right. Regai tiende isusu basa tasiya tapedza chiregai tizorore handiti katisangana muzvikamu zvinoteera Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for your listenership. Right.